Hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are back for another episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14. Pardon me, episode 20, and this is reunion part 3. And what I will say is, can we be honest about overall this reunion? It could have just been one part. They did not need 3 parts to this reunion. I'm not gonna hold you. I was kind of bored. It's so bad, but it was kind of like a snooze fest overall. All I was waiting for was to find out what happened for Garcelle to finally leave. That caused Garcelle to leave the show. And I think what it was, and Garcelle even explained in the episode what it was, but no one was seeing it. People still just were not taking her seriously. They were dismissing her. And I think that's part of her problem. She's like everyone else, like when they have a problem, they're sad, everyone's coddled. She's like literally one of the only people on this show that doesn't get coddled, I notice. And Bose, I'm looking directly at you. You think if you ever have some moments of weakness, you're gonna be coddled? I don't know. But maybe because since she's now part of the Fox Force 5, possibly. Because it's giving that's what it is a little bit here. But I don't think it has it has to do with that, with Garcelle leaving. Because, okay, let's just be real. Not much happened with this third part. We're going to mainly talk about why we think Garcelle left. Because it still was not exactly clear. Yes, that first part of that reunion was enough for me, where she probably stewed and just decided she's done with it. But I think really what it wasn't just reunion. It was her whole entire experience on the show. She was looking at the picture and she's like, wow. Because even when we looked at this reunion, all 3 parts, Sutton got treated with kid gloves, even though Sutton was kind of the one that was the antagonizer this whole season of a lot of the conflicts. Other than Dorit getting on Sutton, everyone else kind of treated her with kid gloves. But the way everyone just kind of came out of nowhere, left field, according to Garcelle, and to a certain degree it was true, how people were just going at her without being allowed any type of grace, I think that was enough for her to be like, none of these women like me, and you know what? I don't like any of these women, so it's fine. And when she said that at the end, she meant all of them, Sutton included, and it was clear to me why. I'm gonna put a pin in it. We'll talk more about what happened in this reunion. Again, not much. So where it left off and where we continued is pretty much Sutton and Dorit. They're still going back and forth. Dorit is beating the dead horse, which is why I guess this whole entire reunion I was kind of bored, because it was a very Dorit heavy reunion. And really a Dorit heavy season. Don't do that again, guys. I'm sorry. I think the conclusion is, outside of Dorit, going at it with Kyle a little bit at the very beginning, because Kyle has been so insufferable throughout the years, it's not enough where it can last the whole season, and it's not interesting because Dorit, beautiful gowns. I don't find her interesting. Like what Erica said about Garcelle, that's how I feel about Dorit, but actually, because we're not talking about what's really going on in her real life. Like, there's always an excuse for why there's a pre-foreclosure. Like, we never did get to whose name was on that mortgage, because it certainly isn't yours because you don't know what's going on with your own place. Like, just certain things like that. It's kind of like, so it just makes me hard to kind of care. So, fast forward though, Dorit and Sutton, they don't really go anywhere. Like, they argue, they put a pin in it, they switch positions on who they're arguing with a little bit, but then they argue again and really nothing gets resolved. That's kind of what happens here. And then from there, the conversation about Sutton not supporting other women and Erica, that comes up. And again, I guess the problem is that I'm getting for this, and I think just like I mean, there's no think. At this point, it has to happen. There needs to be some sort of a soft reboot, or something needs to change with Beverly Hills, because even not Garcelle, but even, pardon me, even Sutton brought up when she was talking to Erica. We've talked over the issues between you and I. Why are we revisiting this? Because to me, part of it does feel like with Erica saying that, like, Sutton doesn't support women and how she treats women in their lowest. It, to me, is giving that Erica really never did forgive her when it comes to the things that happened with Sutton. And it also is like, but the other people were questioning you too. And everyone's explanation when they're talking about Sutton versus everyone else and vice versa is always a case of, well, I checked her behind the scenes, but we didn't see it. So therefore, it just gives like it's a different standard. So I guess that's kind of what happened there a little bit. Sutton, basically, this whole entire reunion was cowerling. She backed down the whole entire time. The whole entire time backed down. So there was no conflict really for the most part, other than Dorit trying to make it continue to happen. But everyone else is just kind of like, okay, we talked about it, we're over it, fine. And then I think there was another question of I think it was a fan question and it was asking Garcelle, what do you think about all this with like, what Sutton said with Erica or something like that. And Garcelle was like, I'm actually really upset right now. And yeah, I'm not going to be answering any more questions. I was like, and this is what gets me. That happened very earlier on in this third part of the reunion. That should have told all of them they need to actually... Garcelle's not good. And none of y'all are checking up on her. No one's asking what's wrong. Like, Andy was kind of the only one who did, but everyone else was just kind of like, oh, okay. And Sutton, what kind of friend are you? Seriously. Because when Andy's asking, so are you upset by how they're treating, Sutton? And she's like, I don't care about that. She's like, I only care about me right now. And I'm just kind of upset with everything as a whole. And Sutton, that should have been assigned to you. She's done. She is done. And what I saw at the very end when she left and how Sutton reacted to all that, yeah, I would never be friends with you again either. I would never be friends with you again either. The other women, I'm pretty sure she expected that. But you, Sutton, it's pathetic. Pathetic. Anyway, so also, I guess overall, when it came to this third part, speaking of Sutton, it was a Sutton-heavy third-part reunion. So they did revisit everything that happened with her and reba. And Reba and her, they haven't watched the episode together, so therefore there really hasn't been any additional conversations with that. Can I be honest? After, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm so fired up, I just got done watching the reunion and I don't even care about anything that happened during this third part, because I was so upset about how Sutton, who's supposed to be really good friends with Garcelle, did nothing to have her back. Throughout this whole reunion, she was so self-absorbed, all about herself, even to the point with after the fact with Garcelle leaving, you didn't follow suit and do the same thing when she did that for you literally the season before. Yeah. Anyway. So the other thing that was talked about is Kyle and her lesbianist stuff and her and Mo. And honestly, I think the other reason why I was frustrated with this reunion as a whole, not just like this third part, Kyle ain't told us nothing new. Only thing she told us, like, she'd been going through his phone, but like, duh, I would expect that would be how you would find out information about, what might have led to your separation. We still don't know what led to their separation, by the way. So it's like, I don't really care what Kyle has to say because everything is just fluff. It's all fluff. Also, I noticed when it came to this reunion, once Garcelle said what she said, there was supposed to be a Garcelle segment and they skipped right through it. Because once Andy got the hint that Garcelle is not feeling it and she's over this, she's like completely shut down from this whole entire process. They didn't go over the thing because I think they were supposed to. So we didn't get the beach house or any conversations or anything that was Garcelle. We didn't get the Garcelle package at all this season. Because they were supposed to do that and they didn't do it. So instead they went to Erica. So Erica got her screen time that she wanted. I feel like they shifted at the last minute to be more Erica centric because let's face it, Erica ain't had nothing going on this season for them to be talking that much about Erica. She didn't. So they talk about, so they added a lot of fluff with this third part. So they talk about Erica and the verdict with her husband. Don't care. Or ex-husband. Don't care. Erica and her son being part of that ASAP Rocky trial. Okay. I mean, I still didn't really care. And then her talking more and more about her son. That, it was definitely a lot of new information. Like a lot of things that had nothing to do with the reunion was being discussed during this third part reunion. And now I get why Erica and some of the women are so mad at Garcelle because something tells me during that third part reunion, because she did what she did, they had to like scramble at the last minute for like it to make sense for a third part. I know Andy said that she's more than welcome to come back and stuff, but the way that happened, I would question it. Because I was like, oh wow, there's no warning. So besides that, what else was talked about? Kathy was trying to have Kyle's back. Kathy was also trying to have Son's back when it came to the conflict that was going on in the show or the reunion. What else happened? The Bose comment. So Bose definitely did not help the situation when it comes to the Garcelle at all. I'm pretty sure of that. Because there was conflict about when Garcelle said stop being Dorit's representative comment. And the back and forth that they were having about how Bose was just like overly basically saying, why are we sitting up front? Why are we calling this woman where we could just be keeping the pushing? And without Bose knowing the situation. And Bose is like, I didn't need to know the situation for me to do all that. And we already went over it during that episode, but like Bose did do a little bit of a reach. It was a little bit of a reach, a baby reach, saying that Son called her angry black woman. That's not what she did. Okay. That's not what she did. I'm sorry. She didn't do that. Now, was Sutton also kind of being, well, kind of a little bit of a victim? Absolutely. Sutton this season has been insufferable. And honestly, after what happened during this reunion, I don't know why she thinks it's a good idea for her to stay on this show. And I'm not sure if she's going to after everything that happened, because she doesn't have anyone that has her back at all. And she's going to find out she has no one that has her back. So that's what it is with that. But what else happened during this reunion? You know what? Let's just get to the reason why I'm even recording this video. Because, like I said, not much happened during this third part. I really could have went without this third part. And yes, Kyle was milking the whole story about her talking to her family about her sexuality. How do I feel about that? I personally don't understand why is it such a fight for her, because it is 2025 and like she lives in LA. Like, let's be so for real. I'm sorry. Like, I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't. And her being in the industry she's in, it doesn't make sense why this is such a big deal. But I feel like they were trying to make it more of a big deal with this third part reunion because they had, I don't know. It's just like they didn't really, I don't know. Let's get to the thing. So the second time Andy does ask Garcelle the question, why are you so upset? She goes into it, but she doesn't go into it in detail. She still kind of vague about it. She's like, look, I'm upset with this overall process. I'm kind of done with the whole thing. So that was her. Garcelle was saying more than once she's quitting this show. That's how I read that. She's reading it. When she says she's done, she means she's done. I could tell that's what it was. And she's like, everyone gets so much grace when they speak their speech or have their feelings. But when I have feelings that, may not be the politically correct feeling, I don't get allowed any grace. I get attacked. No one had my back. And I understand what Garcelle's talking about. I think overall in this show, yes. But my only problem with this argument, Garcelle, is that when you were talking about it after the fact, you were so focused on the burglary of it all. And I really just wish you would have let that mouse go, in the words of Sunstrat. You should have let the mouse go when it comes to that. Of all the things to hang up on when it comes to Dorit and her white microaggressions, you had other materials like this season and previous seasons that you could have spoken about. You could be like, what, overall, but I get why she didn't, because it was her way of not throwing the network under the bus. Because I feel like she really would have aired her grievances. It would have not been good for the network. And I think she was trying to be as politically correct as possible, but also be done with the situation all at the same time. So do I think Andy knew towards the end? I think he did. I just think he put on a little bit for the other ladies, because I don't think the other ladies did not see this coming. Yeah. So let's get to the moment in time. So fast forward, they have their drinks. The drinks that they toast to was a nasty 4th of July watermelon drink that Dorit had at her place. Apparently it was still gross. No one liked it. Maybe it was really too fruity. Who knows? But then at this point in time, they're talking about this cast photo. I was like, okay, now let's do the cast photo. And Garcelle's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not going to be doing the cast photo. I'm out. So she sets her drink down and she proceeds to exit stage. Right. Like she's gone. And everyone was just like, wait, what? What? And Dorit, girl, your Karenism came out. She's like, this is very unprofessional of her. You're one of the reasons why she's creating this show. So anyway, so she does that and she leaves. And this whole entire time while all this is happening, instead of Sun going after her good Judy to find out what's wrong, she's with the other girls gossiping about her as well. Like, I don't know why she just left. I don't know. I don't get what's not defending her at all. Basically acting like she's just dead to her as well. And that's why Garcelle left this show. Once she realized Sutton was not even her friend either, after everything she's done for Sutton, I think that was the final straw. Yeah. I think it wasn't just this reunion. I think it was a combination, of course, all the years in the show, but this season. The way we saw Sun's true colors of how much she just really is a pick-me, who, if these women would have chosen Sutton over, and if these women would have chosen Sutton and Sutton wasn't forced to be an outcast of this group, Garcelle would be the outcast all by herself. And I think Garcelle figured that out. She's like, wow, I made myself the outcast for this group for you, and you can't even appreciate me being a real ride or die for you because these women don't like you. So instead, you're going to join the other side. That's kind of how it was given. That's how it looked like this third part of the reunion. And so Garcelle gets, she's in her dressing room. She has the cameras leave. And she's like, I've never done that before. I'm normally a team player, but you know what? You could tell she was done. She's like, I am done. And so she is like, F those people. None of them are my friends. F them. And she's just going on and on about like, that's just how I feel. I'm not saying it as fact. I'm saying this is how I feel. And she's like, why am I not allowed to have my feelings? Yes, there may not be the most pleasant feelings, but those are my feelings. Everyone else is allowed to have their feelings, but I'm not allowed to have my feelings. And so she's like, I'm done. And she's has her clothes, takes her clothes off, and then she sachets on out of there. She's gone. Fast forward, Sutton finally goes and finds out what's going on with Garcelle. And Garcelle's gone already. And Sutton this whole entire time is so shocked that she left. And then her self-absorbed behind was like, we're supposed to have dinner later. No, you're not. You're having dinner by yourself, Sutton. You're not having dinner with her. Like, you still think you're going to have dinner with her after you just let her storm off and you didn't go out to her check up on her now once? And even after the first part of the reunion, your version of checking up on her was you complaining about how you're going to be in so much trouble. And it turns out they all treated you with kid gloves this time around and gave all the venom to Garcelle. But instead, you're so stuck on you and stuck on Dom that you're just like, oh, me. What about all the things that Garcelle has had to go through on this show? And the moment that the other side just gives you a little wink and a wave, you just abandon your friend. I don't know if I'm going to be watching next season. And it doesn't help that I literally just got done watching this. So I'm just like fuming. Because I just didn't like how my main problem had nothing to do with anyone else but Sutton. Sutton, you are not a good friend. I don't understand why you did not go after her to find out what was going on with her. You made sure you got that cast picture in, and you wouldn't go after your friend. Yeah, anyway, but that does conclude the reunion. It was not a great reunion, and overall the season wasn't very good. In my opinion, it was okay, but it just wasn't great. It was just meh. It was enough to get the job done when it comes to the season. But the reunion, a dud, complete dud. But anyway, that does conclude the review. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Mel Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.